Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Wealth Prescription. If you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel. In this video, I will discuss about what is rolling return, why rolling return, and how to get rolling return of mutual fund schemes. This is a tweet from Mr. Amit Basu. He tweeted before few days. What he says is, can you take a decision if you have only 0.27% information about the past? If the answer is no, and I believe answer should be no only, then why look at point to point 1 year return while selecting mutual fund scheme? What he wants to convey is 1 divided by 365 equals to 0.0027 or 0.27%. So while selecting mutual fund scheme, if you are looking at past 1 year return, then you are actually calculating return of that fund between today and 365 days before, and that is called point to point return and only takes into account 0.27% data. For better understanding of return, you should have calculated fund performance between today and before 364 days, between today and before 363 days. Likewise, you can calculate for entire year. He got reply from Mr. Kalpen Parekh, who is president at DSP Mutual Fund. What he replied is the most often used because in all famous websites like Money Control and Value Research, only point to point return is available and most irrelevant measure. This is one mutual fund scheme performance data taken from Money Control. Here fund name is not written as it is irrelevant. Fund past 1 year return is 53.41% as on 18th June 21, which is very good return. In actual, the return is calculated from NAV difference between two dates, that is 18th June 20 and 18th June 21. Now, if you see the past 10-year return, then it is 13.64% only, which is quite low compared to 1 year return, but still it is good for 10-year period. So, if you want to take decision based on 1 year return of the fund, then we should look at all the instances of 1 year return, like return between 18th June 20 and 18th June 21, return between 17th June 20 and 17th June 21, return between 16th June 20 and 16th June 21, and compare it with benchmark at least in last 3 to 5 years. Rolling return is most important for retail investor who are doing SIPs as their entry points are multiple. Here 3 year rolling return graph of the same fund is taken. Yellow line is fund return between 3 year period and blue line is benchmark return. You can see that fund is underperforming that benchmark. So even though fund has generated good return in last 1 year, that was 53.41%, and annualized return of 13.64% in last 10 years, but this fund is not suitable for investment. It has because it has not generated risk adjusted return. This table is of the same fund rolling return of different periods like 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year in last 11 years. Let's look at 1 year rolling return. Its minimum return is minus 28.86%. Means in last 11 years there was 1 year period in which fund has delivered minus 28.86% return. Maximum return is 91.56%. That means in last 11 years there was 1 year period in which fund has delivered return of 91.56%. Now percentage time negative return, which is 21.18%. That means if you have invested every day in last 11 years and calculate return after 1 year considering each investment as individual investment, then 21.18% times return was negative. Now percentage time return 0 to 8%, which is 18.61%. That means if you have invested every day in last 11 years and calculate return after 1 year of individual investment, then 18.61 percentage times return was in the range of 0 to 8%. So if you combine negative and up to 8% return, then 40% time 1 year return is negative or less than bank FD. Likewise, 8 to 12% return is 15.64% time period. 12 to 15% return is 8% time period. 15 to 20% return is 10% time period. And more than 20% return is 26.54% time period only. If you consider more than 12% return as good return, then only 44.58% time period return is more than 12%. Now see the 5-year rolling return. Here the minimum return is minus 0.87%. In percentage time, negative return is 0.16%. So if you increase the holding period of fund, then chances of negative return is almost zero. If you see the 10-year rolling return, then minimum return is 8.86% and maximum return is 13.84%. That means if you increase holding period of that fund, then minimum return is always more than bank FD and maximum return is reduced, but still it is very good. In actual more than 10-year holding period, return will be in the range of 12 to 15%. So from rolling return, you can get the idea of how much return that fund has generated in particular holding period. The same thing in the graphical format. This is period when the fund has given around minus 29% return. This is period when fund has generated around 92% return. This is period when fund has generated negative return. This is time period when the fund has generated 0 to 8% return. This is time period when the fund has generated more than 20% return. You can get mutual fund rolling return from the Advisor Coach website. Still, if you have any query, you can contact me on this WhatsApp number. Thank you.